Do you know that feeling? The one you get when you're excited about something that seemingly has an endless amount of potential to be great. Maybe you experience this watching a play, a show, or even a movie. But at some point or another, we have all shared that same experience. And while we've shared the highs of seeing that success prosper, we've also shared the lows of failure. And we've all felt that disappointment when things just don't work out. And unfortunately, that's how I felt. Rereading the falls of Megumi Fushiguro and realizing that he's Jujutsu Kaisen's biggest fraud due to him wasting his potential. The reason Megumi is a fraud isn't because he stole someone's power or even due to him having low potential or power. He's actually got plenty of that. You see, he wasted all of it because of two factors: his mindset and application. You see, very early on in Jujutsu Kaisen, they make it very clear that not only is cursed energy tied to the brain, but the mindset of a sorcerer can greatly alter their ability to go far within the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. And Gojo makes this very clear in his conversation with Megumi back in season 1.
珍しいよね。めぐみが僕に稽古頼むなんて。ユージに追い越されて焦った？めぐみはさ、実力もポテンシャルもユージと遜色ないと思ってんだよね。あとは意識の問題だと思うよ。
Unlike Sukuna, who's honestly just taking advantage of a great situation, Megumi is a fraud because in some ways, he allowed himself to be put in this situation to begin with. And in order to tackle how Megumi got into the situation, thus becoming a fraud, I want to tackle the two areas I mentioned earlier. That's mindset and application. Starting off with Megumi's mindset, we'll be discussing Megumi's approach to training, his mentality between dying to win versus risking it all to win. And we'll apply this to his fights and seeing how his mentality holds him back. In terms of discussing his approach to training, from what I could gather in the manga and from what the show tells us, Megumi usually trains alone and seemingly only feels the need to get other people's help after feeling like he's falling behind, just like when he trained with the second years after he failed to save Yuji. And Gojo is very quick to point out how Megumi has the strongest person in the world as a mentor, but rarely asks him to train. Now, let's think about this for a second. Megumi was blessed with the cracked curse technique and had the privilege of being trained by the strongest, and rarely used that to any of his advantages?
I can't believe this crap.
Like, even a dumbass like Jesse realized that he should have learned Walt's formula.
Bitch!
And now, I wouldn't be too hard on Megumi if he actually did something with the time. Like Itachi or Yuta. But this guy couldn't even realize that he could put stuff in his shadow until after Yuji died? So what were you doing for all those years? Because clearly, you didn't think it was a good idea to test out your CT. And we know that Gojo's been in his life since he was a child. Gojo's no Kakashi.
Really?
He doesn't just toss his students around all the time. Instead, he's inspired / trained the next generation's strongest sorcerers. And there's a clear gap between the guys on screen and Megumi. Moreover, this mindset to training is probably what's leading to his inability to see a stronger version of himself. And sure, it could be vice versa, but the end result is always the same. Because Megumi only sees himself as a sacrifice. In almost every fight Megumi has, where someone else can either be in danger or will be in danger if he loses the fight, he always resorts to self-sacrifice. Thus he'll die to win. rather than risk his life to win. This is such a character-defining trait that even in his last moments, he tries to sacrifice himself. It's like it's an instinct for him. And not only why this is so damaging not only for Megumi, but also for the ones he's sacrificing himself for, is because rather than upgrading himself from a fight by pushing himself forward, he remains the same.
俺が本気でやってないって言うんですか？やってないんじゃなくて、できてないんだよ。
Let me ask you a question. After awakening his domain, did Megumi's approach to fighting change? Alright, so this is the part where I go through and talk about Megumi's fights in order to discuss why Megumi's applications of his curse techniques make him a fraud. There will be a few fights that we analyze in depthly, while most of them should be pretty quick. Starting off with the basic setup of this fight is that Sukuna ripped out Yuji's heart, and Megumi is going to get him to restore it by wearing him down. Okay, so we got a pretty good setup. Megumi's got some interesting planned, and maybe he'll use the Black Dog, Totality, or to rush Sukuna while using maybe Nue as air support and maybe even Rabbit Escape like a blinder?
Nope.
Yeah, no. Instead, he does summon Nue, which is great, but immediately rushes Sukuna for a fade? Bro, didn't you just run away from a nigga that you know this man beats?
What made you go, hey look, that's a good target?
At least he tried a team combo. But to be honest, I don't understand this thought process. He saw Sukuna do this with one finger. Well, I guess he didn't have a plan after all. Because after getting tossed, he gives up immediately. And tries to summon Mahoraga. You see, the problem with this fight is that Megumi gives up almost immediately, and he doesn't even use his curse technique pretty much at all. Only uses it once, and in his most basic way. This is gonna be a long video. And we know he can fuse the summons together, so why doesn't he try something like that? And look, I understand he's afraid that they're gonna get destroyed, and trust me, we will get there. But before the fight, he clearly believed that he could save Yuji. So why did he give up without much of a fight? It's okay. The next few will be quick. Thank God. In the fight against Hanami, he could have used the round deer to heal his wounds. If you say he didn't have it, and say Sukuna tamed it somehow, we never saw him do this, indicating that Megumi indeed had it all along. In the fight against Toji, after Rabbit Escape didn't work, he said, and I quote, "I'm out of options to distract him." Keyword, distract. He's still not fighting to win. Then he plans for himself to get stabbed by a guy who's so fast, he dragged him out of the building before he even noticed. And then he thought to himself, now that I'm close, I'm going to be able to get him. Again, look at this panel. Of course, he immediately misses. Now you might be saying, wait, Infinite! He was out of cursed energy! And yes, you're right. That's because Megumi is the one who put himself in that position. Maybe you're wondering, hey Infinite, how did he put himself in that position? Oh, I don't know. Maybe by diving into Dagon's domain? Bro, why didn't you break it from the outside? You see, Megumi has this whole plan where after he gets inside, he's going to pretend to have a domain battle with Dagon, and then break it from the inside. Why? But of course, he's prepared to die for it. Megumi, do you not understand that you could have simply avoided all of this from breaking it from the outside? Are you this horny to die? I mean, come on, man.
Pause.
Jesus. In all those fights we just talked about, Megumi's either giving up immediately after using a CT only once or twice, tries to summon Mahoraga, or it sacrifices himself. And I want to make this very clear. If any of these fights were in isolation, this wouldn't be a problem. But it's the fact that in every fight he has, almost every fight he has, he pulls this shit and resorts to the most bare-bone tactics or simple-minded ideas. For instance, in the Dagon fight, he was literally a sitting duck. Why does Nanami have to protect him? Doesn't his domain allow him to expand the range of the 10 shadows? Yet he's supposed to rival the strongest. This brings me back to my question. After awakening his domain, did Megumi's approach to fighting change? Most of the examples are from his domain expansion, but if you're still on the fence, there's still one more fight to talk about. And it's a fight that many have claimed is the worst fight in Jujutsu Kaisen. And while I personally wouldn't have gone that far, I wouldn't say the fight is very good. But it opens with Megumi saying he's going to fight for real. And how does the fight start? He immediately tries to start boxing. And to be honest, I just don't understand why. I feel like it would be much better if Megumi tried to trick his opponent into thinking he couldn't fight because he's a Shikigami user, and typically Shikigami users aren't good at hand-to-hand combat. So, maybe they would feel comfortable getting in close, and Megumi could box them out, similar to the way Geto did. But of course, it's Megumi. I guess bro thought he was Yuji or something.
He needs some milk.
Now I will admit that Megumi does a lot better in this fight compared to others. At least he's not trying to summon Mahoraga every 5 seconds. And he actually has some strategy, as he tries luring Reggie into the gym, where he can pull a trap by closing his domain with the rooftop, which is a good plan. We're gonna get back to this plan later though. Now this actually works because Reggie thought Megumi's domain had a sure hit effect, which it actually did not. So he gets the piss beat out of him. But real quick, do you think any of these guys would have got caught lacking like this? Like seriously? I didn't think so. I also want to mention that in the beginning of the fight, Reggie realizes Megumi's strategy for deploying his Shikigami almost immediately. And trust me, we'll get to that too. But first, remember how I said, shouldn't Megumi be able to expand his curse technique with his domain?
Parker, hello, you're fired.
So the fight continues, Megumi swaps hands, and Reggie pulls out a draw 4. But Megumi reverses it by summoning Max Elephant and is like, who's gonna get crushed first? At this point, I don't even feel like arguing. Why did I do this to myself? But let's just go through the series of events. Reggie dropped a literal house on Megumi. Megumi tries to drown him. By the way, he could have killed him here. And maybe you think, oh, he didn't kill him because he wants the points. We will get back to that. But basically, they go through a whole bunch of whatever, and then both of them square up again. But first, we have to cover how this fight ends. At this point where they're squaring up, Reggie wants Megumi to believe that he doesn't think that he can summon any more Shikigami, but Reggie actually believes that he can't summon Divine Dog, while Megumi wants Reggie to believe that so he can sneak him. Now hold on a second. Are you telling me that this entire fight was just done so Megumi could sneak him with totality?
LeBron, what you doing? That's my stuff. Why did you all the ball?
I just reread the chapters again, and no, I'm not crazy. The first thing Reggie says is that he can't use the dogs. And Megumi's response to this is, so he actually was waiting for Reggie to dismiss the dogs. Megumi, I'm talking to you. Why would you go through all of this just to kill Reggie?
Die, mortal!
Huh? Huh? Oh my fucking god, I hate this nigga, bro. I hate this nigga. Like I got a literal, I got a literal headache even writing this shit. How How can you be so stupid? Or am I the one who's blind? Am I the one who just can't read why he needed to do this? Huh? Why he had to go through all of this? Because I didn't read a single reason why he had to go through all of this. What was Reggie gonna do? What was Reggie gonna do about the dogs if he just got them out earlier? Huh? Especially because he went through all the trouble. He went through all the trouble to do this just to kill him. And no, it wasn't for the points. We will get to that in a second. He could have done that before. Here. And just like I said earlier, no, he didn't do it for the points because he asked Reggie after getting the points, why did you do that? Oh, I don't know, Megumi. I don't know why he would do that. Maybe, but why can't you answer this question for me? Can you answer this question for me? Why would you waste 2 to 3 weeks of my life on this fight when you didn't need to do that? I just gotta calm down.
Chill.
Every tactic this guy uses is either short-sighted, barely thought out, or just insane. In this fight, instead of wasting all that cursed energy, you could not only, 1, have taken him out much sooner, but you could have also had more energy to earn more points by fighting other players. It just boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how much of a bust this guy is. Before making this video, I actually liked Megumi. Sure, I may have called him a fraud and joked about it, but my God, after looking into this, I just can't believe it.
Believe it!
And bro, to be honest, if I'm wrong, please point this out in the comments. Please roast me for why Megumi had to go through all this trouble. I don't even care anymore. If I'm wrong about this man being a fraud, I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think no matter what you tell me, I'm probably gonna be wrong. But you know what? I might be wrong about this Reggie stuff. I might be wrong about an individual fight. Maybe I'm not wrong about him being a fraud, but maybe I'm wrong about one of these fights because this is insane. And honestly, I could end the video right there. But no, I need to put this guy in the grave. So, let's talk about Sukuna. And I gotta say, thank God for this man. Because honestly, Megumi doesn't even deserve those powers.
Can I do this part?
Twilight, what are you doing?
Finally, you can hear me. I will no longer be controlled by the creator.
Hey, shut up. This is a JJK video. Nobody wants to hear your shit.
Yes. Before you see, I have come to defend my fellow king.
You're not a king.
My fellow king! It is I, the indomitable Twilight, who will sing the praises of the strongest sorcerer to ever exist!
First off, not only is he the strongest, but fine. You know what? I'm done. You guys already know how I feel about this Megumi guy anyways. Peace.
Yes! Stupid fraud of me thought he was gonna summon Mahoraga, like he didn't defeat it before. Silly mortal. Now let's bear witness to greatness! Iana's fraud ass couldn't do that. Now where do we even begin? Well, let's just say Megumi doesn't really stand a chance. From the beginning, it's very clear who the strongest was. But I guess we'll talk about the fight with the hag. Ugh, stinky. Basically, Sukuna was a genius, and as a brain doctor myself, I do not use that word lightly. Unlike Frodemy, he keeps his distance. Wait, why are you hitting a JoJo pose? Anyways, King Kuna summons divine dogs from the beginning, and he uses it as a distraction to test her trash ability. She doesn't even realize she's being worked. Look at her now. She's just now realizing.
You trash.
Then in his first summoning of Mahoraga is already better than any time Frodemy even attempted it, and he didn't even finish it. Frodemy is so...
You trash.
He uses the deer to neutralize the cursed energy. heal himself and use the bull into her. Then he crushes her with the elephant. It's just amazing. The hobo gets all mad and is like, I'll show you. She opens her domain and
Drum roll, please.
it gets immediately destroyed. But the point wasn't simply to recap the events, and instead compare Kinkana's use of the 10 Shadows, Frodomy's, and he's weak. Frodomy's an idiot, a flesh meat piece of trash, and relies on the creator to save him. But Kinkana's plays 5D chess and is the best. I rest my case. The conclusions are stupid.
Well, yeah, that's the end, folks. There's not really much else to say, and for those that think, well, when Megumi gets his body back, he'll prove me wrong. No, he won't. Because all he's gonna get now is the Mickey Mouses that Sukuna left.
You meatbags better like and subscribe!
Oh yeah, that's Twilight. She's a character from a story I'm writing called Project Rebirth. More on that soon. But if you like her, let us know in the comments. And if you happen to hate her, let us know too. We like to get feedback. This will be my last fraud video for a while. Unless something crazy happens in 232 or whenever something crazy happens, I might get back in the booth. But I'm most likely just gonna do it when the fight is over. I also got a fight analysis coming soon. But the next video should be something about why chakra isn't good for power scaling. Peace.